My journey started, well, I guess my journey started, 30 something years ago, but my journey started one day when I graduated college and I was commuting about 3 hours each way to Manhattan, and I was talking to my friend James O'Brien, and I said, I just got to live in Manhattan, James. And he goes, so do it. I said, I don't have any money. How the hell am I going to live in Manhattan? He goes, just do it. You'll figure it out. And so, being a free-spirited child, against my parents' desires, I said, I'm doing it. I'm moving to New York, Mom. And I did it. I moved to Manhattan. I was broke as a joke. I lived on dollar pizza. I literally, I would eat dollar pizza like every single day because it was all I could afford. And I got to the big city and I was still miserable. And so I was like, you know what? The fashion industry is not for me. I can't stand this. I'm going for my passion. I'm going back to hair school. So I did that, and I worked crazy jobs, a million jobs at once, just so I could go to hair school. And I loved it. And then I got back to Manhattan, and I was working like a dog because I still couldn't pay my bills, because in Manhattan, to be a hairstylist, you have to like assist for 6 years or something. So I was working, this is not a joke, I would work until 6:30 in the morning as a cocktail waitress to be back at the salon at 8:30 in the morning. That was only one night that I did this, but to be back at the salon at 8:30 in the morning and be on my feet all day. And then every single day at the salon, I would run to Barney's bathroom because I was on the Upper East Side in Manhattan, and I would cry my eyes out every single day. I was exhausted. I looked exhausted. I was a mess. But I had this flame in my heart, because no matter how low we get, that flame, no matter how dim, is always there, saying, you can do this. Keep going. Keep searching for what you want. I will give you one step, and then the next, and then the next, and you will get there. So with every decision I made, every leap I took, the quality of my life improved. And so let's skip about maybe 5 more careers that I went to. I think there was commercial real estate, there was the travel industry, which was pretty awesome. And then I went to Lululemon when I finally left Manhattan on a leap of faith. And then let's go a little bit before May 4th, I hired a business coach. I just had this connection. She lives in Quebec. And I just had this magical connection. I had saw a talk that she gave, and it lit something up inside of me. And I've always spent my life living based on how I feel. Does it create that spark in my soul? Yes, then I'll go. And she was very expensive. So I told my friends what I was gonna do, and they were like, girlfriend, you are nuts. You ain't got that kind of money. And that spark, right? It was like a test from the universe. Someone's gonna tell you don't do something, and I was like, well, I can do this. Like, I'm gonna do that. And so I invested a lot of money in a business coach and also in another training. But mostly I was standing up to say, I'm ready. I am here, and I am investing in me. And it will work. I don't know how, but I will get there. So I hired this wonderful, wonderful woman, Melissa, and she is a large part of the reason we are all here tonight. And so when I called her, I said, listen, I want to leave my job. I want to be my own boss. I want to do my own thing. So this is what we're working towards. She said, great. And every stage of my life, I have different kind of goals, leave Manhattan, become my own boss. And one of my goals that I was working towards really was, I don't want to be broke no more. So I was also saying, I want to make some money because, I got to pay my bills. And so that was another one of her goals. And so we're playing a game one day, and she goes, all right, you need to make $5,000 on your own services. So I was working a full-time job from home at this time, and she goes, on your own services. So not from your job, on your own account. And I said, all right, I got this. And so I wake up on Friday, May 4th, and I sat down to pray, because it always comes down to our connection to spirituality. If we lose our connection, we lose it all. So I sat down to pray, and I said, universe, create the space for me to bring in $5,000. An hour later, I got the phone call that I was fired. And I sat there and I literally froze. And I was like, oh shit, I just lost my job. You know, like in shock. And then I got up and I was like, woo! Oh, my dreams have come true! My dreams have come true! And I called my dad, my parents, and I said, I got fired. And at this point I didn't tell them I was like throwing a party, because you know, it's probably not good to get fired. And my dad goes, all right, Christa, relax. Go to the beach and do that thing that you do. And I said, meditate? And he goes, yeah, just go meditate. Don't worry about anything, go meditate. And I was like, okay, Dad, I'm gonna go meditate. And the first thing that I did was I got right to work. Because when you love what you do, I was at the time just trying to have my full-time job and start my own thing at the same time, and that's probably why I got fired, because I stopped working half of the hours of the day and just started doing my thing. But so I was like, I'm just gonna get right to work. I mean, it's a Friday, I'm supposed to be working, I'm gonna work. And so I got to work, and over the past few months, this journey has been the most exciting time of my life. I learned how to surf from my dear friend Nadia, and the ocean has taught me so much of challenges and letting go and connection. And it's taught me so much about riding the waves. About the first few months were the best days of my entire life. I mean, it was the most exciting thing I've ever experienced. And then as we got closer to the festival, it was action time. So I became a slave to work, because I knew how powerful this day was. And I knew that there is balance. There are times when we just sip into the joys of life. And there are times when you just do it. You act because you're on passion and you know you're doing something for a really amazing cause. So grab your notebooks. Does everyone have notebooks? Does anyone not have a notebook? Okay, so if you don't have a notebook, can someone rip out a piece of paper and give it to the person that doesn't have any kind of... Let's all share. We need some paper. There are tools that we can use, and we have to believe that we're creating that magic, because every single one of you who are working on your dreams today, this is a major piece of them coming true. And it doesn't feel like it because you can't see it, but when we do things like this is how our dreams come true. And our life is a masterpiece. Our life is magical, and we were born to create that magic and to feel that magic every day. So I want you to draw out, first, let's write a few I ams. I want you to write down powerful, powerful I ams. I'm worthy, I'm successful, whatever it is that you want in your life. I am travel, I am my own business, whatever it is. Not I will, I am. Just take a couple minutes to do that. If you could have any answer in the world to any question, what is that question? What do you want to know? It's like Jeopardy. I want to know what the answer is too. I don't know what it's doing though. Oh, it's a phone call. Sorry. Someone's calling to tell you the answer. And now I want you to write something that scares you the absolute most. What is your biggest fear? And not spiders. Maybe that's one of mine, but I mean a real big fear. A real big fear. I'll never get there. It'll never happen. I'll never be good enough. What is that fear? Now picture yourself standing at the edge of a plane about to jump out to have the best skydive of your life. And you've got that fear and that question in front of you. You have two options. You either jump and you float into that unknown road, that unknown air, the murky water where you have no idea what can happen. And you can either sink and hopefully swim, or you can fly and you can thrive and you can soar. So now make that decision, and I want you to write down what happens when you take that leap of faith. But I don't want you to write down that I'm gonna go broke, or my whole life's gonna come crashing down. I want you to fly. I want you to soar. Because you can do it. I know you can. I know because I've done it. And I ain't nothing special. I wasn't even good English. I want you to look at all of the opportunities if you really follow your heart. What could your life look like? We just spent so much time kicking to the curb all of those things that were holding us back. What are all the things that could go right? We spend so much time thinking about everything that could go wrong. Maybe it's easier to think of what could go wrong. But what about all the things that could go right? What about all the things you could do, you could be, you could accomplish? We tend to think, I had an instructor that never said we because I'm assuming, so I am assuming, but we tend to think that our identity today is who we are. But that's bullshit, it's not who we are. Maybe it's how we're acting, how we're being right now, but we can do anything. I once told Tim I could get rid of PMS. I don't know how I did about that. He's not paying attention. I think I did a pretty good job though. But our identities are not who we are. So what do you want to let go of? Who do you want to be? Who do you need to be? Write down right now. 1, who are you being? And then 2, who do you need to be? One of my favorite stories is Jim Carrey. The man was living out of a van, eating beans, looking at Hollywood, not a cent in his pocket. And if you don't know the story, some of you probably know it because I love to tell it, but he took out a check, and I think the number was $10 million. Carrie, you can probably tell me because you've probably heard the story 1,000 times. But I think it was $10 million. And he took out this check as he's sitting in his van and he's eating his beans and he's looking at Hollywood. And he knew deep down that calling in his soul, I can do that. They don't see it yet, but I can do that. I know because I hear that calling. I don't know where it's coming from or what it is, but it doesn't ever shut up. It just keeps saying, this is supposed to happen. This is what I'm here for. And so he wrote down on this check, $10 million. And he wrote it to, oh crap, I can't remember. He wrote it for acting services rendered. Acting services rendered is what the check was written out for. And he dated that check for about 3 years in the future. And if I'm messing up the actual years, maybe it was 5, but I think it was 3. Sorry. And about that 3 years later, down to that very week, he received a check for $10 million for Dumb and Dumber. And it's not bullshit. It works. All of this stuff that you're writing on your paper today, you're creating your life. Maybe you think that you're not because it's like, oh, I'm just jotting stuff down on a piece of paper. But I know it. I know that you can manifest whatever it is that you want in your life. I know that you can be whoever you want to be. It doesn't happen overnight, maybe. Maybe it does. Maybe it's not always easy. Maybe you got to struggle to get there. But life is not meant to be a struggle. My mom used to tell me when I was commuting into the city and I'd be miserable, she would say, oh, Christa, I used to do that for years. It's fine. You're supposed to do that. And I would say, no, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not supposed to struggle. I'm not supposed to be miserable. I'm supposed to be happy. I deserve to be happy. And let me tell you something. I struggled to get today together. It wasn't easy. I've never done this before. And we hit every obstacle possible. But I did it because this wasn't just struggling to struggle. This was fighting for my passion. This was fighting for you and to create something magical because I knew it was universally aligned. So you don't have to struggle because you think that life's supposed to be hard. Yeah, sometimes life gets hard and we show up, but we get to decide what we show up for and what we don't. So maybe there are things in your life that you can just kick to the curb. And maybe there's things that you are fighting for and you are working hard towards. But know the difference between both of those. And just take your eyes, close them. Take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And I want you to feel the rhythm and the beating of your heart. Our mind is so powerful. Our words are so powerful. They create our life, our thoughts. But we don't really check in that often. We don't really pay attention to what they're saying and what they're doing. Sometimes life just happens and it's moving really, really, really fast. But when we lose that connection to our spirituality, when we lose that belief that anything is possible and that we live in a magical world, well, then magic doesn't happen. We have to believe in the power within us. We have so much ancient wisdom inside of us. So much power. Ask it to rise. Rise, sister, rise. Say it to yourself. Call upon it. Wake it up. You all have a purpose and a meaning, and you're here today because in 2012, the Mayan calendar, this is according to the Rise, Sister, Rise book. In 2012, the Mayan calendar came to an end. And in 2013 was when we were putting this planet back into balance. And our planet needs a lot of help right now. It needs a lot of balance. And every single one of you, you signed up, I don't know how many lifetimes ago, but you signed up. You said yes. You said, I want to wake up. I want to heal. I want to live a happy, happy damn life. And I want to make a difference in this world. Feel that. Can you feel Mother Nature? Can you feel the ocean? Can you feel the moon? Can you talk to the fire? have a conversation. I always talk to the trees. I always thought that was kind of like a normal thing. I didn't really tell many people that I talk to the trees, but I love to talk to the trees. And for about 5 or 6 years, I was trying to learn how to surf, and I just couldn't get it. Don't ever have your boyfriend try to teach you how to surf, especially when you give him a concussion the first time you go surfing. But then I met Nadia, my female surfing buddy, and we went out into the ocean. One night, or before we went into the ocean, she said, well, what are your biggest fears? And I said, well, of course, I'm terrified of sharks. And I said, I'm just not comfortable in the ocean. I don't know how, I mean, I can swim, I can doggy paddle, but I didn't grow up with the ocean. So we don't have that bond. I don't know what Mother Nature's gonna do. She scares the shit out of me. And rightfully so. I mean, she's a scary woman. There are days that I've been out there and she has got her PMS and she is roaring and she is fierce and she is powerful and she is beautiful. But she is not to be messed with. And so there are days I do not go in there. But so Nadia's goal was to, all right, before you can really surf, you have to get comfortable. And so we went out there and she goes, you got to talk to the ocean. And I was like, wow, I never thought of that. I talk to the trees, but I never talk to the ocean when I come out here. I never have a conversation. I never ask her to wash away what I'm dealing with, or what is the answer? What do I need to do? How do I get rid of that? I don't have a conversation. And so I had a conversation with her. I sat down on the beach with Nadia and I led a meditation. And I asked her if I could come in, and I connected with her. And then I went out there and I talked to her, and I just kept talking. And every time I would paddle forward, I'd feel the breath of her coming in. And then every time I'd breathe out, I'd paddle my little ass off. And then I'd inhale and just let it feel so smooth. And then I'd exhale and paddle my ass off. Because that's kind of like what happens in yoga. You inhale to create that space, and then you exhale to create that fire. And so I'm paddling, and then I'm going over a wave, and instead of that fear of, oh my God, this wave is huge, it's gonna murder me, I thought, wow, you're about to cleanse me as you rinse over me. And the game changed. When we learn how to connect, when we change our perspective, when we change our minds, the whole world changes. You can do anything you want. You can be anyone you want. You just gotta get out of your own way. You gotta change your mind. You gotta talk to nature. You gotta talk to the squirrels. They got a lot of good advice, I promise. You gotta meditate. There's so much running around and we get confused and lost and we think, oh, I'll move my body tomorrow. I'll connect with it tomorrow. I'll meditate in a week. I meditated a few weeks ago. I'm pretty good for like a year of karma. No, it's a daily practice. You gotta be in your body. You gotta know what's inside, because that is who you are. That's your true essence. You are so fierce and so beautiful and so fucking powerful. I'm so sorry. That was literally the last one. She's literally gonna yell at me. But you are. And you gotta believe it. And so today, as we move into our fire ceremony, if you didn't write down the things that you want to release, or maybe there's some more stuff that's come up for you, we're gonna burn all that shit away today. We're actually gonna burn it in the fire. We've created that fire within our bodies, and now we're gonna physically burn it. So just take a few minutes. Anything else you want to burn, just take it. Make sure it's a page you're okay ripping out of your book and throwing into the fire. So if there's like really beautiful stuff that you wrote on there and you don't want to burn that, maybe don't. And just write down all the things you want to let go. Now open another piece of paper, one that you're not going to burn. And I want you to write down 3 things. I want you to promise yourself you're going to do 3 things. And if they don't terrify you, I don't want to see them on that paper. I want you to show up for yourself. Write down 3 things that you can do that are going to get you where you want to go. They're going to take you closer to that highest version of you that's already living right now. And we're going to make a little contract with the universe. And then we're going to sign it. So I want you to first ask what you want from the universe. Write that down. What do you want? What do you need? And don't worry about being, like really clear, maybe not bossy, but, strong about what you want. And then after that, you're going to write down what's your end of that contract. What are you going to give? What are you going to do for the universe? And then you're going to sign that puppy. You can kiss it in your lipstick. You could do anything to sign, seal, and deliver that baby right up to the universe. Maybe you date it. I signed a contract with the universe right before I lost my job. And my dream came true. I got the freedom I've been waiting for years. This shit works. Just believe. And where is my beautiful Kate? Can you grab our poem? Ooh, it got cold out for belly shirts. Dang. Ooh, I should have brought a sweater. Oh, you're honestly like the most amazing human. Dang. Oh wait, let me grab it. I'm gonna grab the other one, the initiation. Yeah. So, the day that Kate and I found out that we were no longer gonna be able to hold this at the farm, I received this poem, this letter in my inbox. And I just thought it was the most perfect thing because I gotta tell you, it was a scary, scary day in my world. We had done a lot of work to create that vision, and change ain't easy. And the universe sent this message. Because when you're growing and when you're expanding, oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you, I got it. When you're growing and when you're expanding, oh wait, hold on. One more thought, thank you. Before I forget it. But when you're growing and when you're expanding, you're gonna get tested. It's not always gonna be the easiest. Calling in with the answer again. I like it though, it's kind of good jam. Kind of like Jeopardy, no? You're gonna get tested. And the bigger you want to grow, the bigger your tests are going to be. But you got to still show up. And so this poem was pretty damn perfect. I want to do half and half. Okay, I'll put it there. The initiated woman. The initiated woman has bled. She's bled from poor decisions that sliced her esteem wide open, and from unguarded boundaries being obliterated. And she's bled willingly. Because that's what you do when the people you love have been hit by life. You give them your blood. She's gone through the eye of a needle, stripped, shed, pared down to the pure pith of her power. The few people who have seen her so naked will never speak of that beauty to anyone else. She knows that when people are ready, they're ready. And they're never ready before they're ready. Still, she holds the light for your readiness because she knows how sweet it is when the time is right. She's modest, but bold to the depths. She knows that initiations are waiting for everyone to claim them. Courage is key. She's asked people to leave her house because they were consistently rude. Now she asks after the first offense. She knows exactly where things are going. If you don't respect her, there's not much to talk about. It's usually a succession of rigors, rarely a lightning strike, that earns her the license to teach. Her lessons can be precise, like the diamond that cuts diamonds, essentially focused.
She knows that playing nice perpetrates irresponsibility, but that kindness is wildly fertile. She's mindful of how the how and the who in her bed, because it's always more than that. She doesn't spiritualize immorality, but she understands it. She has no time for excuses, but all the time in the world for intentionality. She reveres accountability, which includes using the sword of justice and singing operative praises for things done the good way, or even attempts at the good way. Scarred, faceted, radiant, and wide, she's so tender, she prefers to whisper about her true nature or write a poem, abstract, protected. When the initiated woman tells you that everything will be okay, you tend to believe her. She uses compassion to see what's really going on. She applies willingness sparingly, like gas to fire. That's because she is fire. She awaits, but gets on with things. She can tell you with calm and certain sympathy that love is the shortest distance between you and me, and that there are no shortcuts to initiation.
There are no shortcuts to initiation. When I received that poem, I heard the message. There are no shortcuts, and I'm not going to get one either. And this day is going to be pure magic, because I'm not creating it. Mother Nature's creating it, and I think she did a damn good job. And so now, we gonna party. We got a bonfire going, and Kate is gonna lead us in a beautiful, beautiful ritual. So I'm gonna lead it off to her. And I just wanna give you guys a huge round of applause, because you're all, last one, you're all fucking amazing. I'm gonna hear about this for months.
So if you want, we're gonna gather over by the fire. So bundle up and bring your sheets of what you're releasing. I just need to grab something from the back.